Okay. My name's Lieutenant Midge Boyle of Media Relations. It's M-I-D-G-E-B-O-Y-L-E. Today we're going to brief you on a death in custody incident that occurred last night. At approximately 10:45 on October 21st, Officers Hendrickson and Vasquez of the Northeast Patrol Division made a traffic stop at LBJ and Abrams Road. They found the driver, who was identified as Brian Michael Hunter, a white male, 11/9 of 1980, had outstanding traffic warrants out of the cities of Arlington and Wiley. They transported Mr. Hunter to the City Detention Center for the outstanding warrants, where he was booked in at about 11:40 p.m. During the book-in process at the detention center, arrested persons are routinely asked health conditions. Mr. Hunter did not make any indications that he had health problems, so he was put into the general population at the detention center. Sometime between being placed in general population, he was moved to an isolated cell. At about 2:15 on October 22nd, so that was early this morning, Mr. Hunter was found unconscious in his cell. Staff at the detention center requested Dallas Fire and Rescue to the location. They attempted to resuscitate him and transport him to Baylor Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. Pursuant to state law, the Dallas Police Special Investigating Unit is conducting a criminal investigation into the incident as a death in custody. Part of the ongoing investigation will be learning the circumstances which led Mr. Hunter to be moved from the general population to an isolated cell, and also reviewing the video that was taken from the patrol cars during the traffic stop, as well as cameras at the city detention facility. We'll also be awaiting the findings from the Dallas County Medical Examiner's Office. Mr. Hunter's next of kin has been identified.
Take just a couple questions. We don't have a lot, but we can take just a couple questions.
Why was he stopped?
He was stopped for an unsafe lane change.
If you can, maybe elaborate on kind of what the procedures are, Lieutenant, after a person is taken to city detention and general population and then going to an isolated cell. How does that work? We're
not sure. When a person is arrested and booked in, part of the process is that the staff needs to know if there's any medical conditions. They don't have medical staff at the facility, so if there's certain conditions, then they will be booked into Luce Jarrett rather than the city detention facility. So there's a series of questions, and I can't tell you exactly what those are, but asking about the health. He gave no indication to any health problems, so he was put into general population. Part of the investigation is going to be to determine why he was moved from general population to an isolated cell.
I guess my question is that common? Once you go to...
That is part of the procedure, but what circumstance led him to be moved, we don't know yet. That's still under investigation. But that is most arrestees probably go into general population and are not put into isolation.
Did the officers make any comments of what they observed of him just...
We don't have any information from the interviews of the officers yet, but from what we do have at the detention center, he gave no indication that there were any health problems.
Is there video from inside
jail? There is. They have cameras, I'm sure, inside the facility at different stages. It's just a matter of getting them and processing them.
No more questions?
So the officers didn't indicate that they thought maybe he was intoxicated in some way?
No, they had no indication that he was intoxicated by any means at this point.
That's all we have on this one today. If we get any other information, we can share.